It's your girl Kia VL up in the building, all up on your screen. Good morning. So I got a bone to pick. Actually, a discussion. I would love to hear people's comments and responses in the comment section. If you could, please. Perhaps shed some light on the subject. So lately, I don't know why, but YouTube has been showing me videos about people who are pretty much letting the world know that women are no longer of value once they reach 30. Something that I also think is man-made, just like the beauty industry and everything else. It wasn't women who made this stuff up. It was men who decide what beauty standards are. And now I feel like they are also being able to have the opportunity to decide our value as a human being and what age we decrease in that value, which is absolutely sickening because we don't have the same criteria as for men. Men are just valuable creatures to begin with, no matter what age, no matter what's going on, which is crazy to me. But, you know, to each his own. So, I was watching on the intranet a couple of videos where first it was a man that was talking about don't date a woman in her 30s because her looks fade. And first of all, I'm in my 30s, Triggerfoot. And I have looked back at all my pictures, and I literally look the same in every picture. So, either I came out the womb looking older, or incorrect. But then again, you have to also think with whose statistics are they going with, to be honest, because certain people, their physical aging is different. We're not going to point out who, but if you know, you know. If you know, you know. And I feel like they are definitely the ones who has started the idea of a woman's looks fade at 30. Because listen, not all these men's women's looks is fading, baby. It's in the genetics. It's in the DNA. But I do understand if we're talking about something else, because I definitely see how certain people look older than other categories. It is what it is. You know? However, I just think it's awfully funny that people always say, well, maybe you should have used your early 20s. Your early 20s should be used to, you know, find a mate, find a mate, find a mate, find a mate. Like, bro, why has it always been a woman needs to find a mate, find a mate, find a mate, but never a man? Like, I'm not a man basher at all. It's just annoying. It's just annoying. How many generations are going to be annoyed by rushing to the altar? And it's funny that even the people rushing to the altar, that doesn't mean it's going to last, especially when divorce rate is 50% divorce in a marriage. So 50% of the people getting married are also getting divorced. It's probably more than that. Y'all just water down the statistics. And the way things are now, most divorces end over like interesting reasonings. Okay? For some people, it's whenever it hits their spirit, or whenever it stops being fun. You ever experienced that with people? Whenever it stopped being fun, you be like, oh, well, I think I want out of the relationship. So then they go find somebody else who's fun. Which is crazy. It's crazy for me. The reasonings for certain divorces are interesting. But it's just very annoying for people to always say that. And they've said that for generations. Actually, if we go back in history, folks was getting married and having full families at like 14, 15, 16. Like, times have changed. I'm surprised that we haven't increased the age since then. It just feels like it's been 30 for the last, million years now? Listen, I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. That's why I kind of hate that God bless men with the abilities for their sperm to like live for a long time, because they're really using that to like hold a woman's throat, because there's only so long a woman can get pregnant. Like, I wish we had an equal battlefield so y'all could shut up. Point blank in the a period so I can shut up. I feel like it's going to be a lot of rude comments in the bottom of this video. But it is what it is. I'm saying how I feel. And that's totally fine. That is totally fine. But I hate this whole race for 30. 30, you need to have this. 30, you need to have that. 30, 30, 30. And you got all of these women stressed out. Folks is committing suicide because they don't feel like they're going to be able to achieve this so-called dream of 30, which is ridiculous. Let it go. Let it go. How many rich folks is out here been married 15 times? So y'all gonna sit here and pinpoint that 30 is the only time you should be able to get married? Meanwhile, they get married every 2 seconds to 15 different folks. And that is the world that we live in at the moment. A lot of people aren't just going to be in one marriage and they'll last forever. They're going to be in multiple. Interesting. Interesting. I just don't get it. Why don't y'all just let people live? You know what I mean? Just let people live. And it's funny that a lot of people be like, oh, or men be like, don't marry a woman under 30 because, you know, she's set in her ways now and, you know, she wants different things and she has standards. Listen, that's why y'all want us young. Y'all want us young and stupid. Y'all want us young and controllable. And when you get to a certain age and you know who you are, it's like they don't want you to know who you are. They just want to take you when you're a duh, so that they can mold you into something that they want to make them happy. Like, bro, you got to understand, women would love to make you happy. Women would actually love to submit to you if you are worth submitting to. Women would love to do a lot of things. But you also have to realize, which is why I say you need to change your idea, thought of this 30 thing. The world is different. The world is different now. At first it was stay-at-home wives. And it's not that anymore. So, listen. We need each other at this point. Throw that age mess out of the window. Because it's stupid. Literally. Stupid. Crazy, crazy, crazy. This world is just, it's annoying. And I feel bad for the ladies that are actually feeding into this and tearing themselves apart, because I was definitely one of them. When I tell you I cried all of year 29, because I was like, I'm not where I wanted to be. It's not, child, listen, bump y'all. Because it wasn't even me that was crying over me. I had plenty of opportunities to get married. Do you know how many rings I was given? A lot. You see this personality in it? Listen, a lot. I was the one that postponed things because I didn't want to end up in situations that weren't proper. Because the way this divorce rate is divorce rating, child, you need to take some time to make sure you are making the right choices. Especially if you're talking to somebody who got divorced at a younger age. Listen, I was dead seriously talking to a guy who got divorced in his 20s. His first divorce was in his 20s. At like 24. Now, granted, that's all me, but that just lets you know that this whole rush into getting married in your early 20s doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work out. It does not mean it's going to work out. And then people be like, oh, your body count. Child, listen, not everybody is out here getting around trying to find a one. Please know that. Please know that. And if you are afraid of somebody that's going to hold you accountable just a little bit, then you got some issues. Then you don't want somebody who's going to help be a real helpmate to you. And not a lot of women have that security in them at a young age. Now things are different though. We have the internet. We got all these little TikTok famous folks and all these little Instagram famous folks that's trying to tell you what life is about. And it's crazy. Y'all hear me lose my voice? A life is about. Girl, get it together. But it just upsets me that there are videos of men literally like trying to inspire and mind manipulate other men into being like, yeah, we're not gonna talk to women over 30. We're not gonna, like, if you don't think for yourself and love for yourself, okay, get it together. Know that there is no age on it. Will it be harder to get pregnant and stuff like that? That may be the case. But does that mean it's impossible? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it is funny that they talk about they'll marry a woman over 30 when it seems like the average age, if you look it up, the average age for Americans to get married now is 32 and 34. That just lets you know something is something in. Okay? Stop all that shenanigans, all that nonsense. Oh, you need to get married at 25. You need to start seriously dating at 25. You need to start. Listen, everybody is not going to have that mindset of, oh my gosh, I want to be a wife right away. I want to be a mom right away. I want to be this right away. Some people shouldn't even be parents at 25 and 24 or 23. Point blank in a period. That's why you be seeing all these little stupid crimes that's going on and all these dodos out here trying to sell children and stuff because they weren't mentally ready. They weren't mentally ready. Is there a number for marriage? No. I mean, other than being legal. Of course, other than being legal. No. Let it go. Listen, we know people in their 50s and their 60s getting married. So why is there such a stigma about it? And why is there such a rush to get married? It's like the biggest rush in the world. Let's hurry up and get to the altar so that in the next 2 years we can get a divorce. Like, what? Make it make sense. Because there's not a lot of successful marriages out here that's lasting. Why is that? Could it be the rush? I wonder how many people have literally ran to the altar because they was like, oh my gosh, I'm turning 30. I feel like, he's decent. Okay. So it's crazy. It's crazy. And a lot of people, especially in your age of your 20s, you're just learning who you are as a person. And I feel like that's why divorces take place so much, because you guys aren't ready for the growth that happens over time. Is it non-stop? Yeah, it's non-stopping. Excuse me. It's non-stopping. You continue to grow forever. You continue to learn forever. You continue to go through things and circumstances that will make you be a different person all the time. But I feel like there's a certain age when at least you know the basics of who you are. You're going to grow from it. But it's nice to have a comfort of some stability just a little bit in your character. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to look at a man and be like, oh my gosh, he's so wonderful. He cares a lot. He's such and such and such and such. And then he goes through a growth spurt of disrespect. Like, what? No. Crazy. It is what it is, though. I know people who have married young and have long marriages. But is it easy? Absolutely not. And it all comes down to the willingness to stay. The willingness to stay. The willingness to be like, okay, so divorce isn't an option. Now, I don't mean divorce isn't an option and he beating your butt and making you feel this little every day. But when you find somebody that's really like that, that's really down for the cause, you will feel comfortable in growing with them. But the men that I met in my 20s, listen, this is my thing. If men want to sit here and talk about women should get married in their 30s, or they are in their 20s, or they're like tainted goods by 30, then how about men stop spending their 20s being blank boys? Okay? Being blank boys. If you want a woman to be married in her 30s, we aren't marrying men who aren't looking to be married. And that is the craziest thing. That's the craziest thing. Men sit here and be like, women should be married at 30. Meanwhile, their brain to be serious in a real relationship is something that is genuine. Doesn't even click in until their late 20s, if that. And we're just supposed to be like, oh, okay, let's marry into that. No. Why do we want to marry into the nonsense? So we can get cheated on, so we can get played and still stay and all this other stuff. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. These double standards be double standarding. And I'm not here for it. I'm not. You can get married at any age, sis. And at this point, the way medicine is medicining, why do I keep saying the words double? Somebody gonna call me out. I'll be saying words double to make it, to emphasize what I'm trying to say. The way medicine is medicine and healthcare is healthcare. Listen, I have seen documentaries where 50 and 60-year-olds are purposely going to get in vitro fertilization and having whole kids out here in these streets. So listen, don't let that knock you. I want to say these people want kids. People are starting to postpone having kids or even wanting them because this world is so dang on expensive. And not to mention, it's getting stupid. All these rules and laws and all this shenanigans going on that don't make no sense. Who want to raise a kid and all this nonsense? I don't know why y'all doing it. Listen, some people just want to adopt and it's totally fine. Stop being down our throats. Talk about we need to be married at 30. When you're not even prepared for marriage when we're in our 30s. Times are different. Times are different. Men aren't made the way that they used to be made, where they actually knew how to be a man at a younger age. So for you to be like, oh, you need to be married by your 30s. However, I'm playing around while you're in your 20s, like, it just doesn't make sense. Let me know how you feel about this in the comments. Let me know. Somebody probably gonna bash me. It is what it is. It's my opinion. It's my thought process. Will I, make another video in the future and be like, I've changed? Who knows? People change every day. Their mindsets change every day. They think harder about a situation. But this is just my current reaction at the moment. So, let me know. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and hopefully subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Have a good day. Bye.